with contemporary news. This weekend, the worst call in Super Bowl history occurred when Pete Carroll decided to call a pass. Wait, this just in! Breaking news on the debate on the difference between pseudoscience and actual science. And here's Jackson and Jordan with more of the story.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Jackson. And today we have a breaking story on what exactly is science. And we're here to hopefully answer this question for you all that you are tuned in for.
Thank you, Jackson. Let's start with the basics. Through interviewing experts in the field, namely science majors at James Madison University, it has been concluded among most that science is indeed a process.
That it is, and by further looking at some rather simple but still complete experiments, it was found that there are some key steps in the process of science.
Yes, that's right. And some of these key steps include determining a hypothesis based on observations,
coming up with your independent and dependent variables,
and having your very own predicted results. And then, if all goes well, drawing some sort of conclusion based on completing this process of experimentation.
This was further confirmed by studying some of the more sophisticated experiments found in the newspaper articles. Back to you, Melanie.
Thank you, Jordan and Jackson, for enlightening us on exactly what science is. Now our audience might be thinking to themselves, well, why should I believe these JMU students and this news team? And when we and Rachel have that answer next, as it can be rather confusing on figuring out who to believe. Over to you, Wenwee and Rachel.
I'm Wenwee. And I'm Rachel. An important part of the debate between science and pseudoscience involves paying attention to the source. Who should you believe?
People may not be as credible as they seem. Delve deeper and make sure what they say is reliable. In this age, there are so many people around us advertising their ideas and claims to science. We have to question, do they really know what they're talking about, and can we believe them?
Today we look at the controversy between celebrity author Suzanne Somers, researcher Dr. Burzynski, and the American Cancer Society on the topic of antineoplastic therapy to help put a stop to cancer.
As we evaluate their credibility, we need to consider not just their training and experience, but also any bias and hidden agendas, where they are publishing their findings and many other factors.
For example, in this case, Dr. Burzynski may be a little biased, considering he gets paid off from the results. However, his hands-on experience gives him a bit of credibility.
As we know, Somers is not a doctor, and her celebrity status does little to help her case, but she did interview many doctors in the field, and is also a cancer survivor herself. Can we really believe what she says?
Finally, the authors of the page on the American Cancer Society's website are likely unbiased and incorporated peer-reviewed information due to the significance of this website for cancer patients.
These three groups each make good claims to science, but how can we judge them solely on the author? We should take a look at what makes a source reliable.
For now, we'll go back to Melanie. Maybe she can help us determine which of these sources would be the most credible.
Thank you for explaining the situation. We have just the people for looking into the reliability of a source. Joining me today is Melissa to talk about reliable sources and which ones are going to be the most credible.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So tell me, what is a reliable source?
Well, there are so many articles, books, and journals out there that have so much information that we tend to believe even if it's not true. When looking for a reliable source, you should look for something that is peer-reviewed.
What does it mean for something to be peer-reviewed?
It means that something that has been read over and scrutinized by an individual or others who are experts in the field. It's not like an editorial review, which is just when someone goes over a writing to make sure it looks good for the article.
Where can you find these reliable sources?
Well, you never want to do a regular Google search. There are other databases like PubMed, JSTOR, and Ulrich Web that can search through and find credible sources. They help narrow your information search and will get you better results. But you also need to go to the journal's home page and look for the peer review process. Some journals have longer and more detailed processes than others.
Striving for A's? Information to support your essay can be found in many different places. Consider the source. Do you have the best sources for your essay? Articles published in peer-reviewed journals are the most in-depth, authoritative sources. Using them will please your professor and will improve your chances of getting a good grade. Peer review is a quality control process used by journals in order to ensure that the articles they publish represent the best scholarship currently available. Peer-reviewed scholarly journals contain articles written by and addressed to experts in a specific discipline. They contain original research and communicate this information to other researchers. To demonstrate accuracy and to assist other researchers, peer-reviewed articles always cite their sources in the form of footnotes, endnotes, and/or bibliographies. When an article is submitted to a peer-reviewed journal, the journal's editors send the article to other scholars in the same research field, that is, the author's peers. The peers look at the quality of the scholarship, its relevance to the field, and its appropriateness for the journal. To ensure integrity in the process, the reviewers' identities may be kept secret from the author, and the author's identity may be kept secret from the reviewers. Based on the reviewer's feedback, the article may be accepted pending suggested revisions, or rejected. You can't always tell a peer-reviewed journal by its cover. To determine whether or not a journal uses the peer review process, check the journal's website, Ulrich's Periodicals directory online, or ask a librarian.
Wow, I never knew that you couldn't just do a Google search. Thank you, Melissa. After hearing from all of our great field reporters and our in-house guests, the answer may seem simple, but it's not. Science differs from pseudoscience in a couple different ways. Science is testable and has evidence supporting it. The evidence comes from tests and experiments done by scientists and other reliable individuals. The reliable individuals tend to not have any bias and have much more evidence supporting them. Scientists pushing pseudoscience products tend to have no backing and are pushing it because they have a money bias. You will find the most reliable individuals and their sources in peer-reviewed articles and journals, while pseudoscience has more editorial reviews that they can just sort of use. So the use is clear. So the difference is clear. Science is not non-biased, tested data that has supporting evidence from scientists and looked over by peer review, while pseudoscience includes claims made by people who want money and have no significant backing to the claims. Now back to the dramatic Super Bowl ending.